All right, we're going to talk about exponential growth and decay. So first, before we jump into this problem, let's talk about a few basics. So we have growth and decay. Ooh, scary. So exponential growth, the equation for that is going to be y equals a parentheses 1 plus r raised to the exponent t. So, and the other one, decay, is going to be y equals a 1 minus r raised to the t. So the big difference between the two of these is on growth, we're adding the r, and on decay, we're subtracting the r. So when you think of growing, you want to get bigger, so you want to add. If you're decaying, that's getting smaller, so you're subtracting. So before we move on, let's talk about what even these letters mean. So we need to know what is A, what is R, and what is T. So A is going to be our initial amount. You have to start somewhere if you're growing or decaying. You gotta start somewhere. R is going to be our rate. And we want this as a decimal. I wish I knew how to spell decimal because I just spelled it wrong. So our rate needs to be a decimal. I spelled it right, don't worry. And then we have t, which is usually the more obvious of them all. That's going to represent time. So we have an initial amount we need to know. We need to know the rate, and we're going to write that as a decimal and the time. So let's hop into this problem. A Netflix festival in its first year had 20,000 people show up. Exciting. They expect the festival to grow by 8% every year. So what we're going to do is we're going to write the exponential equation that represents the population after t years. So the first thing we have to figure out is which of these two equations we're using, the growth or the decay. So when we're reading this problem, we're looking for words that represent growth or we're looking for words that represent decay. So reading through it, I see they expect the festival to, oh, look at that. It says grow right there. They expect the festival to grow by 8% every year. So other words you might see is increase, get bigger, stuff like that, similar to growth. So we need to write an exponential equation that represents the population after t years. So I need to know what either A and R is. T, we're just going to, they didn't give us a years yet. They just said keep t. So I know I'm going to be using the growth problem. If this was decay, we'd be using over here. So I need to know A, the initial amount. So it said in its first year, it had 20,000 people show up. So A in this problem is going to be 20,000. And then we need 1 plus R. So here's my 1 and plus sign, the plus sign because it's growing. And now I need R, which R is going to be our rate. So they expect it to grow by 8% every year. But here's the catch. We aren't just going to write 8 there. That's going to give you a wrong answer. We need to change this percent to a decimal. And here's how you do that. If you have 8%, that's the same as like 8.0. To change a percent to a decimal, you're going to take that decimal point and move it 2 places to the left. So really that's going to be 0.08. So we're going to have 1 plus 0.08 and then raise it to the t power. So this first question where it says write the exponential equation that represents the population after t years, there we go. Part 2, we need to know how many people will be at the festival after 8 years. So what they gave us here is a little bit more information. 8 years, that means they just told us t equals 8. So if I have an equation and they tell you t equals 8, what we're going to do is we're going to take this 8 and we're going to plug it in, and then we're probably going to let our calculator handle the rest of it for us. So we're going to have y equals, I'm just rewriting what I have above, 1 plus 0.08. But instead of putting t, I'm going to plug in 8 for t. And then all we want to do is take this and plug it exactly like you see it into your calculator. Let the calculator worry about the order of operations, all that. Plug it in exactly like how you see it, 20,000 parentheses 1 plus 0.8 parentheses exponent of 8. And when you plug it into your calculator, you get 37,018.60. But since we're talking about people, we should probably round that and say we're going to have 37,019 people Outstanding. That was exponential growth and decay.